Supernormal stimuli, too much of a good thing. As opposed to our ancestors who spent their days motivated by a thirst for survival, strictly relying on the natural resources around them, we now live in a world where technology has given those fortunate enough the ability to fill basic needs with the touch of a finger or click of a mouse. From ordering groceries from our couch to keeping up with our friends or favorite celebrities through different channels of media, we can now experience life all from the comfort of our homes, even if it is virtually. It sounds great, right? Well, while media has benefited me in more ways than I care to admit, I've begun to wonder how it has negatively impacted me, and at what point it might cross over from being a good thing to something destructive. With this video essay, I would like to address how media has consumed mine and others' lives through supernormal stimuli in the form of TV shows, social media, video games, and just the internet in general. To start, I'd like to go over instincts, the drive to protect, connect with others, learn, create, and reproduce. While humans and animals differ in a lot of aspects, we're all connected by these innate instincts which are crucial for our survival. And after reading a study from 1973 on the instinctive behavior of animals, which was conducted by Nico Tinbergen and accredited with the Nobel Prize, it was clear that while our instincts are vital for navigating our day-to-day, they truly have no bounds in terms of seeking things out that are bigger and better. With Tinbergen's observations, we also find that animals aren't only driven by their instincts, but they're susceptible to being duped by them. This brings us to the creation of the term supernormal stimuli, or stimuli whose characteristics are exaggerated from what is found in the natural world. So, how do supernormal stimuli come into play with our instincts and how we behave? In Nico's study, we followed this songbird in two separate nests, both filled with spotted eggs. One nest was the songbirds, and the other nest was occupied by a set of dummy eggs, which exaggerated their original set, but with larger spots, shine, and size. What he noticed was that the songbird would ditch the original set of eggs they had laid for the exaggerated form, despite a poor fit and feel, as they would constantly slide off. As he continued to study different animals, he continued to get the same result. Then he began to wonder if humans were susceptible to this type of trickery too. Surely not, right? Well, through media, we can enter a world created by and designed for humans. With this ability, we're able to portray life in an exaggerated way, similar to the set of dummy eggs, which in comparison can make regular life seem dull or uninteresting. I'm sure you've experienced a show, movie, game, or even just a platform where you find yourself going back too often for some sense of stimulation, whether it's for comfort, excitement, a scare, or just to escape the troubles that accompany everyday life. But this is where I begin to wonder, at what point does too much media become a problem? And is there a price to pay for devotion to such cheap satisfaction? Personally, I found myself spending too much time on my phone, computer, television, whether it was scrolling on social platform or a mindless game that's entire premise is based on flashing lights and immediate gratification. Eventually, my entire day from morning to night was filled with the chase for cheap thrills. I had little desire to spend time with others or to seek out new relationships. Pursuing a career or hobby was backtracked, and honestly, the thought of being unplugged seemed nonsensical. In short, I found myself getting wrapped up in a world that was unnatural. So now what? I'm somewhat aware of my problem, but how do I go about fixing it? I found that simply being cognizant of an issue with media consumption isn't enough. Action is required to affect any real change, and it's not necessarily an easy process once your entire body is rigged up to the cheap thrills of a semi-fictional world. So, I begin identifying the specifics of my issues and reevaluating my habits and their consequences, both bad and good. I suppose once you break media and its appealing aspects down, it's easy to see how one might become addicted. With media, we can enter into a completely new man-made world. The options are truly overwhelming. Whether it's playing as a Dragonborn on Skyrim or following Walter White's journey as Heisenberg, I had found a way to fill the void life brings, all from the comfort of my room. And once your binge sessions turn into a nightly routine, you begin to notice how it can get in the way of pursuing a life full of accomplishments. And a feeling of guilt then begins to settle with the contentment and emptiness that a life filled with cheap highs brings. And obviously at this point, in the pursuit of happiness, I must begin to reevaluate my situation and begin addressing the issues at their core, by taking an honest look at my media consumption in order to replace those cheap thrills with natural highs. Getting over any addiction is a process, but it's not impossible. And if you don't feel as though you have an addiction, I urge you to stay alert, as developing an addiction is just as much of a process, but a heck of a lot easier, especially when you're talking about an addiction that's been normalized and capitalized off of. So, by remaining honest with myself and practicing mindfulness and restraint, I have hope that soon I'll be able to embrace the world for its truth by finding an appreciation for the lows just as much as the highs, instead of constantly filling the void with junk. Because while something may be good, there is such thing as too much. Practice restraint, keep an open mind, and don't let a cheap high distract you from the things that matter. Thank you.